Alrighty, guys, the weekend is nearly here. So I'm based in Sydney at the moment. It's like 1 p.m. On Friday here. And I just want to cover for every fitness professional and gym owner on here on the importance of balance and knowing what you want in your life and also knowing what you don't want. Because I think it's very, very common to not have amazing balance. And what I mean by balance is you've got like your work life going well, you've got your family life, and then your health and fitness. Kind of everything kind of encompasses into that. And, you know, down the line, there might be some other things, but they're the three really big things. And when having amazing balance, I want you to make sure that you plan your weekends really effectively so you get the most out of them. And I give you a couple of things and a couple of ideas to make sure that you've got all this really dialed in, because I've been really lucky. I get to work with hundreds of fitness business owners. I've met so many of you along the journey. And the difference between a well-balanced business owner who has amazing family life, super healthy and fit, is often make or break in a lot of our programs, because you can use all the tactics, right? You see all the business coaches all saying stuff to do, but unless you're really well balanced, right, none of this stuff gets done. And I'm going to share with you a couple of things that you can do this weekend to make sure that you absolutely fucking dominate in your business. So guys, first things first, if you're in a growing phase, right, where you're like under 100 members and you want to get to 150, that's where we recommend doing Success Saturdays. Okay, Success Saturdays is where you market your business and you also sell. Okay, so you'll do that for like 2 to 3 hours on a Saturday because you are in a growth phase and you do need to grow. Now, down the line, 100%, you can stop doing Success Saturdays when you have a team. But let's be honest, if your business isn't going well, it's incredibly stressful. And even me, like to this day, I still do Success Saturdays. I still did it when we had 1,200 members because that was a good flow for me. But let's talk about getting balance outside of it. And let's talk about a couple of things you need to do with work first. Whether you do this afternoon on a Friday or whether you do it for an hour on Saturday, like hour on Sunday, like my mentor, Craig Ballantyne mentioned to me, however you do it, I want you to make sure that you spend 30 to 45 minutes preparing for your next work week, right? You get all the to-do lists that are all clogged up in our head, right? Get all of that out of your head and onto paper. What are the key things you need to do? What are the key things that your team need to do to have a really, really successful week? Right? You need to get that out. And we use things like Asana, right? And we have all our team meetings on a Monday. So you're preparing all those team meeting agendas so you know what everyone needs to do in the business to have a really amazing week. And that's going to clear your head. I was in a flow where I was doing this on a Sunday, right? But now I don't want to do any work on Sunday. So I do it on Friday afternoon now. And you need to find your flow and your cycle. As long as you do all this stuff, you're going to absolutely dominate, right? But you want to make sure you get it done. So planning your week, and I know me saying that, it's not going to change your life because you've heard it 500,000 times before. But the question I'm going to ask you, are you actually planning your week? Because if you know you should do something and you're not, right, you need to start to and have that self-discipline to get that done, right? You might be doing Success Saturday, which is great. But let's talk about all the other things that you need to have amazing balance on. So firstly, guys, health and fitness. Okay, you need to be training regularly. And I went through this cycle. I was actually talking to a friend. He runs like about $5 million business, and he's going back through this cycle where he's getting his health and fitness back. And it's really common, right? When your business is growing, it's really common to let your training kind of dip away. And I don't want you to get in the same cycles that I've got myself into. And also I've seen other people get themselves into, right? And you might have had periods in your life where this has happened to you as well. So weekends, you make sure you get your training sessions in. That's a good time where you can get 3 sessions in. You can get like 2 gym sessions in and a run, right? Because on the weekends, you're going to have a bit more time because you're only doing Success Saturday. And it's really important for those who, you know, you might be younger and going out and partying a lot, right? Or you might be drinking excessive alcohol. One of the things I always ask myself after my weekends, and I'm never going to pretend to be perfect to you guys because I'm not, but on a Monday, are you starting your weekend refreshed or are you starting behind the 8 ball? And that could be, you know, literally from doing like fucking, you know, too much alcohol and stuff like that starts you behind the 8 ball. It could be from watching movies really late at night on a Saturday and Sunday, right? And then getting out of those sleeping routines, right? It can also be a lot of people and our clients as well. They won't eat very well on weekends, right? They'll go out and they'll, maybe eat food that doesn't make you feel super energized and things like that. And I want you to make sure that your weekend is all geared around making sure that you always have an abundance of energy, right? Whether that's, making sure that you're eating really well and training, you need to make sure you find your routines on this and you feel really full of energy on a Monday. And guys, the last one is friends and family, okay? Do you have your date night plan with your partner every single week, okay? Maybe if it's during the week, right? Maybe it's on the weekends, but if you're in a relationship, that date night is so critical and so important for that relationship to super flourish, right? And spending quality time with your partner where you're away from your computers, you're away from your laptops, you're not thinking about work. Then on top of that, are you spending time with the key people within your life? Could be family, it could be friends, right? Are you structuring time for that, right? Because there's been times where you work and work and work and work and you lose those relationships, right? You're not spending as much time with them. You don't lose them, but you're not as tight with them. So is it that, you go for a walk or a run with your friend at 7 a.m.? I have a really good friend named Pete. Every Saturday, apart from one of us are away, we play tennis at 7 a.m. every Saturday. Great start to a weekend, right? You've talked to me. If you guys follow me a lot, I spend a lot of time with my cousin. I really look up to him a lot, really love his family a lot, right? So I make sure on Saturdays that I go down there, that I run the puppies together. So I love seeing them, and I get to see baby Aspen and Sky and Brendan. And, if our diaries align, I'll plan it on a Friday where I get to train with them or catch up with them on Sunday, but to give you that amazing balance. And there's probably also other friends in your life, right? Do you have that afternoon where you're like, hey, I haven't caught up with my friend Andrew G this week. I'm going to make sure I give him a call. And really planning your weekends meticulously. It's the same way that you plan your days meticulously if you're a powerful business owner, so you really get the most out of them. And more often than not, you'll be prone to going just work, okay? And you get a long way doing that, right? Working a lot. But also there's an end result on that, right? You must have incredibly balanced weekends to get the most out of your business, and not just have an amazing business and then your health goes to shit and your relationships go to shit, right? Because then all you have is your business. So I want you to make sure this weekend that you plan your weekend really well. And I just want you to cover these things. If you've watched along this far, I appreciate you. I want you to make sure you do these things this weekend. Firstly, if you're in a growth phase, do Success Saturday, and that's okay, right? Spend 2 hours on Saturday morning growing your business, doing sales, doing marketing. That's okay, right? You can do that. But then are you spending time with your family, right? Have you caught up with your family? Are you calling your mom? Are you calling your dad? Are you calling your grandparents? Whatever that might be to you. Are you spending quality time with your partner and improving that relationship? Right? Because they say, the cheapest thing you ever do, it's like cheaper to keeper, right? It's a motto. I learned it from a motivational video. It's cheaper to keep your partner than it is to lose them, right? You fell in love with them for a reason. Make sure you keep falling in love with them over and over and over again. Are you connecting with your friends, right? Or maybe some friends that you haven't connected with that you need to touch base with, right? You might go play tennis with them, might go for a surf with them. You might just pop in and say hello. And then have you plan your weekends so that you start Monday refreshed and at the best business owner you can be? Or are you starting behind the 8 ball because of the habits and the choices that you make on weekends? I'm not telling you guys how to spend your weekends, but I've had weeks where I start on Monday and I feel like absolute shit. I'm like hungover. I haven't slept well. I haven't eaten well, and never have a good work week. Compared to the weeks where you've gone, you've trained, you've seen your friends, you've seen your family, you maybe had like 1 or 2 drinks, but you're driving the whole time, you've trained really well, you've eaten really well, and you start Monday ready to absolutely fucking dominate, which I want you guys to do. I want you to come prepared on a Monday, ready to dominate because you've had such an amazing weekend, right? And you need to make sure that you meticulously plan that so you do have a great weekend every weekend. So guys, I hope you got a bit of value on that. It's definitely like a little bit of perspective on where I'm at in my life. My business is growing incredibly quickly at the moment. I still do Success Saturdays because I fucking love it, but I make sure everything else is really well planned. And that's what I'm going to be spending the next 30 minutes in my diary every Friday, is preparing my weekend from start to finish, right? And then making sure that my week is really, really well prepared for next week as well, right? And just right identifying and reminding myself of what am I doing this weekend so I turn up as the best person I can be on a Monday for you guys, for my clients, for my partner, for my family, but most fucking importantly, guys, for myself, right? And I want you guys to make sure that you guys do that every single weekend, because if you do that and you get some value from my posts and you're well balanced, there might be a time you jump into my program or you're in my program, and I know from doing that, you will be the best client that I can work with.